Hi, I'm going to make a roly-poly fairy. It's kind of a comical little critter that it is out of clay. Not critter, but a whimsical creature, really. And I like the idea of making one roly-poly, not your regular Disney type of fairy, but one with much more a robust figure. So I'm just tapering in the whole body here. Believe it or not, this is the body. And now I'm going to cut up the middle of the tapered area, and that will define the legs. I'm going to smooth each leg in. Now, if I were really going to take my time, I would put in dimples and cellulite, but I won't bother with that today. We'll make her smooth, mostly smooth-skinned. Just smoothing, drawing my fingers down the length of the legs to get that skin nice and clean. And then I'll kind of end off the feet here, flatten the end, and define the toes a little bit. Make tiny, tiny toes. And then when it comes time to glazing, it's fun to put bright color on there like she's had a pedicure. Bend the knees a little bit. Add those knee dimples because her knees aren't really there. They're kind of overlapped with a little chubbiness. All right, then she's got a rather robust bosom, this one. So we're going to make little beads, kind of like peas, and put them on. And then I'll make a little collar to define her dress. So this will be a coil. And of course, you should always, for the most safe and secure attachment, score and slip. So I'm using my wire brush now to do that. I'm going to take this little collar that I made and envelop her all at the top like that, and that becomes her neckline, kind of a plunging neckline. And I smooth it in underneath so that it all becomes part of her cute little dress. There. So that's a start, but now she needs her hem as well. I'm going to roll another coil and flatten it a little bit because this is going to be her skirt line. Scratch and wet it all the way around. And if you really want to get into the detail of it, you can define her buttocks and make that kind of roly-poly too. I'm going to smooth this up and in. I'm leaving this all even and exposed, but smoothing up and in to the waistline, all of this to make it look like it is one seamless dress. There. See? That became a cute little dress. Now, I know she needs a lot more. We're going to make some arms next. Kind of pudgy little arms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make both of them at the same time. I'm rolling and tapering the clay at the ends because that's where her wrist and hands will be, but then the larger part will be her shoulder. And again, scratch and wet, score and slip. Make sure you do it, otherwise things will be falling apart in the kiln. And there her arm is coming right out of that dress, out of the sleeve. Rounding it off at the top. And score and slip. There's the other shoulder coming out of the arm opening for the sleeveless dress. There we go, bend it. And again, you can kind of define and taper the end to make it look like she has hands. And what is she going to be doing? I'm not quite sure yet, so I'm not going to make that all set. But I do want to define some fingers. I'm just going to make super tiny lines, very subtle. And then with tiny, tiny dots of bright color on the ends, it'll look like she's had a manicure. Okay. So she's just going to rest here for a tiny bit while I define and make a head. I always take the lump of clay and kind of put it up to what I'm attaching it to see if it's the right size. She's going to have some big cheeks, this one. Or at least I think so. Just making it, yeah. Define the cheek. Define the other cheek. Maybe she's all cheeks. Holy cow. Ooh, yeah, look at that. She's going to be all cheeks. Yes, I like that. Okay. Scratch and wet that on. Not much of a neck, as you can imagine. There. And we'll put her little eye sockets in here and make some tiny eyeballs. Super, super tiny. If they're too big, they're going to look bulging and popping, and how ridiculous would that be? I'm kidding. The whole thing is ridiculous. Ridiculous is part of the theme today, so it's okay if it's ridiculous. Now, I'm going to put some water in there. Water in there, and poke it in the eye. Ouch. And poke her in the eye. Ouch. There we go. And she doesn't have a glamorous nose. It's not that little nose that has already cost her thousands of dollars of surgery. This is the nose she was born with, so it's going to be kind of plump and pudgy. Scratching with that on. Sometimes I wish my fingers were smaller. Hee hee. She looks a little ridiculous. That's what we're going for. All right. I wonder if I can get some nostrils put in there. Why not, right? Okay. And what should we use to make the mouth? Do I use this? Oh, yeah. Okay, she looks rather silly, I'm sure, right? Only because she doesn't have any hair. That's all. That's all it is. So I'm going to roll out some curls. Roll them out and then curl up both ends in opposite directions. And I've got a bunch laying here. So that's her hair. Not much of a stylist. That's why I went into pottery. Okay, so now I'm going to scratch and wet her whole head. And we'll see how she develops here. Just start laying on those curls, and I'm not sure which direction each one of them is going to go. I'm just going to start laying them on because they're all curls. Curls go every which direction. We're scratching and wetting. Bring some down and around, cover up the back of the head. It's so funny when I teach classes, so many people do the front. They only look at the front of their sculpture, and then the whole back of the head is left empty. So I always make sure that I make sure there's hair everywhere around the head. Yeah. Maybe just one more in here. Oh. Yeah, wouldn't you want to receive a quarter from her the next time you lose a tooth? All right, so now we're going to add her wings. There. The wings are just a simple little triangle of clay. Just pat it out, make it thin, kind of light and fluffy looking. If you want to add texture, go ahead. You can do some intricate designs and patterns too if you want. Then we scratch and wet that on. Make another one, put that on. Oh, look at her. Isn't she adorable? All right. Well, thank you so much for watching.